Michelle, how are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. First off, I want to thank you for agreeing to do this interview with me today.
Okay.
Before we get started, I'm just going to go over the student-informed consent form.
Okay.
I'm just going to read it verbatim. That way there's no confusion. If you have any questions afterwards, you can ask me. Then we'll get you to sign the form and then get started with the session.
Okay.
Dear friend, I am a student in interviewing skills at Delaware Tech and Community College. One of the requirements of this course is that I practice counseling skills with volunteers. I appreciate your willingness to work with me on my class assignments. You may wish to talk about real concerns that you may have, or you may prefer to role play a problem or issue that does not necessarily relate to you. Please let me know, however, which of these two possibilities you choose.
Okay.
Here are some important dimensions of our work together. First is confidentiality. As a student, I cannot offer any form of legal confidentiality. You may rest assured, however, that what you tell me in real or role-play situations will remain confidential and remain with me except for the following important exceptions, which must be reported to the instructor as required by the state law.
Okay.
The first is serious issue of harm to yourself or others. The second is indications of abusing or neglecting children, the elderly, or disabled persons. And 3, if you are a Deltec student, disclosure that you are a current victim of domestic violence or sexual assault. The second is audio and or videotaping, as we're doing today. An important part of interviewing training is making a recording and listening to my own work. This may be shared with the supervisor, Dr. Marshall, and or students in my class. You'll find that recording does not affect our practice sessions so long as you and I are comfortable. If you wish, we can turn off the recorder at any time. Recordings or written transcripts of the recording will be destroyed at the end of the course unless I have additional written permission from you.
Okay.
The last is boundaries of competence. As I'm beginning as an interviewer, I obviously cannot do counseling and therapy. This is just a practice session so that I can learn how to apply the basic listening skills.
Okay.
In fact, I'd appreciate your feedback from you as to my performance and what you find helpful. If you have any questions, you can contact my instructor, Dr. Marshall, via her phone number or email, whichever you prefer. Do you have any questions?
Can I look over that?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. So, would you prefer if I role played or talked about real situations?
It's really up to you. We would get a more authentic experience, I feel, if you're willing to share a real life problem or situation that you're going through, but it's completely up to you,
Okay.
whichever you're more comfortable with.
All right. And so this is going to be shared with your Marshall, Mr. Marshall, Dr. Marshall,
Mm-hmm.
and students?
It could potentially be shared with students.
Okay.
Yes.
And what do you mean serious harm to yourself or others?
If you're feeling like you want to do self-harm to yourself, like suicide, if you have suicidal thoughts or just thoughts of hurting whomever's in the house with you, then we would have to escalate that to
Okay.
to my teacher.
And that goes to your teacher, and then does that get reported to the state?
Yes.
And then at the end, it's going to be destroyed. How? Do you know how?
I do not know how. However, I can find that out for you and let you know. It's probably still recording.
Oh my God, we were so.
Oh, it went like all the way out.
What the hell? We were doing so good.
I know.
It's still recording.
You
How does
can
that
edit.
happen?
You can edit, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, but you'll be able to see it's edited.
It's okay.
Okay.
And go.
So then it all gets destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So how long do you use this interviewing?
Well, the process is there's going to be 4 separate interviewing sessions. We're going to build off of each session, previous session. And again, it's just to work on my interviewing skills. Not necessarily the focus is going to be on you.
Okay.
And then at the end of the semester, once everything is finalized and graded, then it will just be destroyed.
I have a question. Doesn't really concern me, but I'm curious.
Mhm.
Where it says if a Del Tech student disclosed that you're a current, you're saying if they're a student
Mhm.
and they tell you
Correct.
it has to be reported.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay, so you can go ahead and sign that, and then we can get started.
Do I just sign, not print?
Correct. And you want to add the dates, please.
Sorry, I'm tired.
It's okay.
The 11th?
Yes.
All right.
All right, perfect. So we can go ahead and get started now.
All right.
So there were actually a couple different issues that you had mentioned that you possibly want to speak about this week. So where would you like to start today?
Well, let's see. I could start. I have a few issues I could start with.
Okay.
So one could be my sleep issues.
Okay, tell me a little bit more about that.
You know, I feel tired throughout the day. After lunch, I could take a nap, which I think almost anyone feels that way. But I just constantly notice that I'm yawning all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I just feel drained.
Okay.
And then the minute I get in my bed, I'm like wide awake. I toss and turn, partially because, you know, my aches and pains because I'm older. And then part of it is that my mind just won't stop. I wish that I had an on and off switch for it.
Okay. So if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that you're concerned with the amount of sleep that you get at nights?
Yes.
And you're dealing with an achy body. You may believe this because of your age.
Yes.
And you just can't turn off the thoughts that are going through your mind at night? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes. I feel like throughout the day, it's like, la, 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 la. You know, I mean, I do what I have to do to function and get through work. Like, I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But at night, just random stuff or stuff that I worry about. I need a switch to just shut it off.
So do you know what it is that's triggering these thoughts or the inability to sleep at night?
Well, I definitely think, sometimes I think that it's natural to have worries. I think being a parent, a single parent, I think plays a big part on that. I'm not the most organized person in the world, so I think that might play a part in it. So when I finally have that time to actually sit and rest and feel like, you know, let the day go and I'm going to relax, then all this stuff starts popping in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just because maybe, I don't know, is it because I'm busy throughout the day and I don't have time to think about it?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it I'm so unorganized that at night I sit down and go, oh my God, you know, I don't know.
So have you ever thought maybe whether it is your inability to be organized, or is it truly your thoughts that are driving this issue?
I think it's my thoughts. I think that being disorganized plays a part.
Mm-hmm.
I think anxiety plays a part because I think I do have some anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think it's the thoughts. And it could just be random thoughts too. I mean, very random.
Okay, so do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
My random thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just say, you know, I'm on my phone at night, setting my alarm, and I happen to see something on Google, and I'll go, oh, I need to read that, and I'll read it, and say it's a whale washed up in Rehoboth, let's say. So then I'll read that article, and then something in that article takes me to something really random, and next thing I know, you know, I'm 3 stories away from what I was originally. And I laugh about it, but I mean, that's my life.
Yeah, I was getting ready actually to bring that up. So these are like concerns for you, your inability to sleep or turn your thoughts off. But as you're describing, your thoughts are what it is that you're doing prior to going to sleep. You're like laughing about it. So what are you expressing through your laughter?
I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy that I just can't read an article and say, oh, wow, we all washed up in Rehoboth. And like, I don't know, my mind just goes left. Very
So
random.
what are you thinking now? Because you're still laughing. So I'm
Because
trying
I
to
think
understand.
that it's crazy that, like, I don't know why I can't go to bed. Okay, say I don't even look at an article. It could be a normal night. I do my bedtime routines. You know, physically I'm tired, mentally I'm tired, and I get in the bed and I'll just randomly start thinking, oh, Friday I have to, get my daughter money for this, and oh, I need to check and see if this was charted right at work, or, just random things that pop in my head and I don't know how to control it.
So you've used the word crazy a couple times. So do you really think that your thought process is crazy?
I definitely think it's all over the place. I don't know if I would say crazy. I definitely think it's all over the place. I definitely feel a little ADD.
You're laughing again.
I mean, well, that's how I deal with things anyway. I just laugh.
Okay.
I don't.
So is your laughter your way of deflecting or trying to avoid the true issue? Do you think?
I would say probably avoiding.
Okay. So by you avoiding the actual situation or trying to find a resolution for the situation, is that really helping you, or is it still pushing the issue of your lack of sleep further?
What, the laughing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I never really thought that deep into it.
Okay.
I'm just the type of person that I laugh about a lot of things that I probably shouldn't, or that's my way of dealing with it, because I feel like, in the big scheme of things, I still do sleep. Whether it's a restful 8 hours, no, it's not. But I still do sleep, and there are a lot bigger problems in the world than my little old, I got 5 hours of,
Right, but you mentioned even you're currently a single parent, single
Yes.
mother. So sleep or rest is valuable, right? Correct?
Yes.
You would say. So what do you think, or how do you think you should go about getting more sleep or rest, if that is ultimately your goal, or are you okay with the way that you're progressing?
No, I would love to be able to sleep more. And I've tried different techniques. I've tried reading at night. Doesn't work. I try watching TV. Of course, I always watch TV, even as a kid growing up. And I read that that's really bad, so you shouldn't do that. So then I stopped watching TV. So then I'll read. And then I heard that wasn't good. And then even reading, I just can't stay focused again, I'm off in Africa wondering about a bird that I read online, so I'm Googling that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now I just put on the sleep app, and it's like rain on the roof, and that seems to help. But I still have a good hour of my mind settling before, and then sometimes it's longer than that. Sometimes it's an hour, sometimes it's two.
Okay.
So I want to be. Yeah, I would love to be one of those people that lay their head on the pillow, and within a half hour they're asleep and they get a full 8 hours, 7 hours of rest.
Okay. So if I'm understanding you correctly, you've tried reading, you've tried watching TV, and both of those attempts have failed.
Yes.
You did find a app that helps you.
Yes.
So what are some other options that you could, do you think would help you?
I don't know. I struggle with it. I try, the hot bath. You hear hot bath. I've obviously tried things that people suggest.
Like what?
The hot bath or exercise. That didn't last long, but I tried it. Exercise. I don't know what to do to make the mind stop. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I think that's the main thing.
Okay. So if you're unable to turn off your thoughts at night, do you think that perhaps you could address some of your thoughts or stressors during the day or at an earlier time?
And that's where I say I'm disorganized. Is that yeah, I probably should get into a habit or routine like after dinner, just take an hour out of my time and say, what's going on the next 2 days, what's going on at work. If something happened at work and I need to make a note, jot it down, and then maybe that would free it up so that way when I go to bed it knows that it's night time. But no, I've never tried it because again, I'm unorganized and
So, what type of steps do you think that you can do to help with your organization?
that's a big one.
Okay, so let's stop and actually analyze this. So, what do you feel makes you an unorganized person?
I guess I see other people. They have check registers. They have budget plans. They have calendars with everything on it. I'm not that person. I just don't want. I'm laughing because I just don't want to live my. To me, that's stress. I just feel like if you're constantly looking at the calendar or you're constantly budgeting. I did that years ago. I was that person, and I was so stressed out. And then I don't know, my divorce, whatever. I just said, I just stopped doing it for whatever reason. I don't know if I did it for years and just said I'm done with it. But I don't feel as stressed because I don't do those things. But then on the flip side, I don't sleep at night because I worry or think about things that maybe I should do. So it's
okay. So you said that while you were married before, that you had lists and budgets and calendars and all
I
that.
took care of everything.
But you felt stressed when you had all those lists.
Oh yeah, I never went to bed with the house. I mean, there was not a dish in the sink. The house was always straight. The checkbook was always budgeted. Like everything, I knew what appointments my kids had, and I don't miss appointments with my kids now. I don't miss, school functions. I mean, my daughter might have to remind me in the morning, like, hey, don't forget I have this. I don't miss anything.
Right.
But I'm not that person anymore that lives from a book, if that makes any sense.
So just because you're not that person that you were, does that define you as being unorganized?
I feel like I am now. I feel unorganized because maybe it's because I don't live in the box anymore. Maybe.
So
maybe I'm not, but just maybe I feel that way just because my mind still thinks about the stuff I have to do. Maybe if I did write it down, I wouldn't think about it at night. But then I have that fear of writing it down because I don't want to be that person anymore. I don't want to be that person that is constantly, oh, let me see what's going on, or I just don't want to be that person anymore.
So do you feel that you could develop a plan so that you're just in the middle, find a happy medium?
Right. Yeah. I would love to have some tools to help me right in the middle.
So do you think you can brainstorm some thoughts or ideas on how you can work on it this week?
Sure.
Would you like to share your thoughts?
Of how I could?
Yeah, just whatever small change you think that you can implement this week.
Well, like the one, maybe like after dinner when I'm washing dishes, I could just say, and just maybe jot down, not put it in a book, but maybe just jot down, notes, if it's on a Post-it note or whatever, and just say, or if something comes to mind at that moment, just write it down. So that way, when I wake up, I'll know, like, if I forgot something at work, like, oh, I got to make sure that's charted at work. When I think about it, write on a sticky note and maybe put it by my nightstand. That way, when I go to bed, I already know that that's going to be taken care of because it's written down by my purse. I'm going to grab in the morning. So then maybe I won't think about it at night to where I'm, stressing about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That actually sounds like a good idea, making a list on some Post-it notes and implementing that. That sounds good. So is there another idea or thought that you maybe could try this week?
maybe on like Sunday, just sitting down with my daughter. My son's older, so he pretty much, he does his own thing, but sitting down with my daughter saying, like, hey, what's the plan this week? Where it's, doesn't have to be written in stone, but at least we have an idea. We talk about it, um, whether it be dinner plans or, hey, Wednesday night I want to go with my girlfriend. So that, I think, could help too. I think that will, because on Sundays are my worst night.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's because you got Monday morning, nobody likes Monday mornings, and then you just, the whole week. So Sunday nights are my worst night to fall asleep. And there have been some Sundays where I've only gotten 2 or 3 hours of sleep.
Okay. So with Sunday being your worst night, do we want to just implement this plan on Sunday evenings, or do you want to try and do it every day or every other day?
I think Sundays would be good.
Okay.
To sit and just say, hey, what's going on for the week, and then maybe think about things. I think I do like the idea with the Post-it notes. Like if I randomly think of something, because there are a lot of times I'm doing dishes and I'll go, oh crap, I forgot this at work or this, and I got to tell the doctor this. So if I jot it down right then and there, I have like proof that it's going to be taken care of. So then I won't stew on it at night. So I think that I'll definitely give that a try.
Yeah, those definitely sound like 2 good options, and so I'll go ahead and give you that as an assignment. So for the next time we meet, we'll review any positive or negative outcomes that came from your plan of sitting down with your daughter on Sunday evenings and just discussing the week, and then of course your plan with the Post-it notes.
Okay.
Okay. So did you have any other questions today?
No.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And okay. Hopefully that recorded everything. The timer didn't go off, did it? I think we went past.
I think we did. So that was legit, like, real concerned issues that I have.
That was good. I was chewing my gum and everything. Yeah, 22 minutes.